Lord of the Chat, it's Richard Madeley. He can fix it, it's Neil Morrissey. And their captain, Dave Spikey. And facing them tonight, party girl, Kelly Osborne. Country gent, it's Vic Reeves. And their captain, Sean Locke. Now, here's your host, Jimmy Carr.
Hello and welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, the average person is capable of making more than 1,000 facial expressions? And this is the one I made when I heard that statistic. KFC is the most popular fast food restaurant in China. You would have thought it would have been a Chinese. 55% of men wash their hands after going to the loo. What I do, and here's a tip for you, is I wash my winky in the morning and then I'm good for the rest of the day. Right, let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. We've teamed up with a leading polling organisation and they've asked the British nation what stories they've been discussing this week. It's our panellists' job to guess the British public's top 5 most popular talking points. Sean?
Well, I think definitely been talking about bird flu, the approach of bird flu that's coming to us. People are very worried about it, aren't they?
My mum panics because she reads all this stuff and she phoned up last week because she thought her budgie had got it, Sooty. She's got a budgie. And apparently he was just in the corner of the cage shivering and won't go up its ladder. And he loves going up his ladder, Sooty. He loves it. What happened was, turned out the grandkids had been getting him out of the cage and holding him over a globe of the world and spinning it down, and it just freaked him out. I'm too high! I'm too high!
Bird flu, horse run.
The government says don't panic. If it gets into a stress situation, just move them all inside. But that's where we are. That can't be right.
I don't think the chickens are too bothered, really, because compared to what the farmer's got in store for them, flu's a bit of a holiday, really, isn't it? But if I was a chicken, I'd be snogging other chickens trying to catch them.
They've been talking about 20 million people might die if the bird flu kicks off.
We're all right, we're blokes, aren't we?
Someone had to say it, Vic, and I'm glad it was you.
See what I've done there? Yeah, it's just the birds who are going to get it, isn't it?
If only, Vic. And then me and you could just run off together into the sunset.
Like we did last week.
Yeah.
Well, let's have a look and see whether avian bird flu is one of the top 5 most talked about things this week. Yes, it is. Yes, the second most talked about thing this week was bird flu. The deadly H5N1 virus is close to Britain. Coincidentally, H5N1 is Bernard Matthews' postcode. Richard, Neil, Dave, what else have the nation been talking about this week?
Wembley's not finished. Fuck off, really.
Big shot.
No surprise. I was looking at some sort of report on it. It said that it's going to have 2,000 toilets. Wembley's going to have 2,000. And there's your delay. Waiting for the plumber, aren't they?
I thought, actually, that one of the problems is a language problem, isn't it, with the Australian builders? Because they used to have the rising inflection. When they finish a sentence, they rise up as if it's a question. So I think when they say, like, tomorrow you'll start work at 8, all the blokes go, that probably means about 10:30, doesn't it?
I just like the part that they were bollocking them for doing coke. I wouldn't make them do it, just make it do it all faster.
That's the answer, Kelly. People haven't been brave enough to say it, but drugs are what these builders need.
Think of what you could build with 750 million. You could have a ladder to the moon for £1.
For £1?
Well, that's better than having a big stadium, isn't it? A ladder to the moon.
Yes, but if you could deliver, Vic, I'd invest.
I've got 750 million to play with. I could have a pipe that goes down to the bottom of the Mariana Trench that you could slide down and get fired out the other side.
You're right, Vic, we haven't thought this through. A ladder to the moon.
Said like that, it sounds a lot more impressive.
A ladder to the moon. Yes, Mr. Bond. We built the biggest water slide in the world.
The problem you've got with the ladder to the moon, though, is where do you build it? You've got to have a lot enough...
Do you mean a base camp?
Yeah.
Anglesey.
Hang on, who'd hold it?
Oh, no, it's got a metal base.
Oh, right.
Set into concrete, Richard.
Sorry, mate. Right, let's have a look and see whether Wembley is one of the most talked about things this week.
Of course it is.
Yes, it was. 35% of you were talking about the fact that Wembley Stadium will not be ready for this year's FA Cup final. The delays have thrown the fixtures list into chaos. Chelsea will now be playing Bon Jovi in the Charity Shield. Sean, Kelly and Vic, what else have the nation been talking about?
The robbery. I think it's wicked. Some guy got away with £40 million worth of unmarked notes. Good for him.
I blame the parents.
So you were right behind those guys that nicked your mum's jewels?
They can die a painful death. My mum's really pissed off about that. I think it got what was coming to him. My dad did fucking chuck him out a window.
Did he mean to, or did he just...
He's on satellite navigation now, isn't he?
I know!
He's on sat nav, that's fantastic.
Your dad's doing satellite navigation?
No, he's not. It's somebody saying that it's him. It was like they had this whole thing in the newspaper, how that's like the new thing to download is the voice of your sat-nav. And it's the #1 selling is my dad's voice and the second one is my mum's voice. If I had to get in my car and turn on sat-nav and listen to my parents anymore, I would definitely take a gun to my head.
Apparently now you can buy tractors with sat-nav. And I thought, how pointless is that? He goes, you are now in lower field. You are approaching upper field. Why would you want sat-nav in a tractor?
Or if you've got a really big farm.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And you don't know where your fields are.
When does a robbery become a heist? We don't have many heists over here, do we?
exactly.
Someone
Only in
has
film
to...
titles.
Technically, the difference between a robbery and a heist is someone has to be lowered upside down on a wire.
All right. The police chief actually said the mistake they've made is they've stolen too much. What? And in the article it said if they got all the money that they'd taken and they stacked it all on top of one another, it'd be about 400 foot high. So if the thieves are watching, better not do that.
I think that... Sorry, I'm enjoying a boiled sweet. I shouldn't... I think they should melt it down.
That's a fine idea, Vic.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah. You have the look of a master criminal about you. There have been a couple of arrests.
That
Was it that
sucks.
guy riding down the street on an elephant going, woo-hoo!
With gold shoes on.
Boats, everybody!
There's two of them disguised as policemen and the rest had the obligatory ski masks, baseball bats. Where did they buy them from? You went JJB's and got ski masks, half a dozen, and tell you what, baseball bats as well. Playing around is it's a bit nippy. It's all right.
The thing I find interesting about this robbery is that they say, initially they say it's 40 million, they say it could be 50 million.
Yeah.
And these are people who are supposed to look after money and they don't know how much is in there.
That's why they should have taken it if they're not looking after it.
It wasn't the fact that they weren't looking after it, they did actually have to break in, threaten to kill people to get
Yeah,
it. It wasn't like they were just
people.
sitting on a riverbank going...
I just want to ask Neil, how would you get rid of 40 million quid?
Oh, so easy. Buy a little country.
Buy
You
a
could
little
buy
country.
one of those
Yeah.
islands off Dubai.
Absolutely. Stick some electricity on there, grow a big, fat, whole plantation of marijuana plants and never leave.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you may applaud, but what kind of example is that to little Kelly Osbourne? Well, let's have a look and see whether the heist is one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, it is. Yes, the £40 million heist was the most talked about thing this week. The authorities are looking for people who'll give themselves away by driving flash cars and wearing lots of jewellery. Police have arrested Essex. Of course, they have no idea who did it. In other news, 9 dustmen have just bought Charlton Athletic. Davey, what else have people been talking about this week?
Well, there was a story, wasn't there, about the gay footballers having organising orgies amongst themselves.
Gay orgies?
That's something you wouldn't know anything about. But I mean,
We're just friends.
That's how rumours start.
That's a very big assumption, Neil.
so what are you trying to say?
Are you gay, Richard?
Come on, get it out now while you're on television.
Don't get out now, Richard.
No. Well, I didn't like the stuff about the vibrating telephones.
Ah, well, you
mobile
see,
stuff.
obviously very useful as a sexual toy.
Depends what ringtone it's got, really.
That's right. Yeah.
If it's got, do you know the way to Amarillo? Well, it's not up here, mate. You know what I mean? I don't know.
It gives a whole new meaning to the word ringtone, doesn't it? But you can...
hours, run around on a field with a bunch of other men. Some of them have got to be gay.
It must be harsh news, though, when the manager comes in and goes, statistically, some of you have to be gay.
It's true.
It's you two. I'm afraid you'll be spending all your time in the dugout.
Apparently one of them, they went back to their house and one of them went off into his bedroom, came out with 5,000 in cash and said, I'll give it to anybody who'll perform a sex act. Now, the thing that struck me about that was $5,000 in cash. That money should be in an ISA.
Well, let's have a look and see whether it was the most talked about thing this week. Yes, it was. OK, what else have people been talking about?
The Prince Charles's diaries.
Go on, tell me more.
The royal family aren't to have any opinion on political or politics, anything, and I think he would write his beliefs on China and something's going on in China, I don't know, and send it off to people and they got printed.
Yeah.
It's like Newsnight.
No, you're right, the royal family aren't meant to have any political opinions. Do you know what that is?
Because it causes problems.
No, it's because they're inbred and they're stupid.
I think Prince Charles's diary would be like Wednesday, got up, ate a swan, it was good.
He's a real drama queen, isn't he? I mean, he's saying now that nobody will appreciate me till I'm dead. I mean, he's turning to Morrissey, isn't he? Like, nobody loves me, you know. He's a ridiculous prick.
Let's have a look and see whether Prince Charles's diaries is one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, it is. Yes, this is the story of Prince Charles's diaries being leaked to the press. He describes himself as a political dissident. Funny, I can't remember Che Guevara having a butler. At the end of that round, I can tell you that Sean, Kelly and Vic have 3 points, Dave, Richard and Neil have 2 points. Welcome back. The next round is called The Poll with a Hole. We've looked through hundreds of surveys, past and present, from around the world and unearthed some fascinating facts. Unfortunately, each statistic is missing one salient piece of information, so it's up to our panellists to fill in the gaps. 7 out of 10 adults are unaware that there is an £80 on-the-spot fine for what?
Is there an £80 on-the-spot fine for letting your kids scream and run around?
It is to do with kids.
Is it threatening to shut them in the car? Because, like, we had our son Jack, he was about 6, and he was really infuriating everybody, right? I used to say to him, if you don't behave yourself, you're going to the car. And on this occasion, it was Sunday lunch in a pub, and he wouldn't shut the fuck up. So I picked him up.
He's a proud dad.
OK, he's 19 now, I still do it. Put him over my shoulder and started to walk out through... And everyone was really glad, right? People like you. Nice one. Thanks, Dad, you're doing it. So I said, come on, we're going to the car. And we weren't really. Just going out the front, a little word, and then come back. Going out through all these people and the tables, and he's a little sod. He suddenly got the idea of going to above my head to the public, and he said, "Not the car! Not the car!" Right? I'm thinking, no, you're coming to the car. And he says, "Help!"
It's buying something you shouldn't.
Alcohol underage.
Correct.
Alcohol underage. There you go.
Yes, 7 out of 10 adults are unaware that there is an £80 on-the-spot fine for buying alcohol for minors, but it's worth it just to see their little drunken faces. Kids slur the funniest things. 71% of Brits agree that what is an acceptable pastime?
Take it away, Vic.
Putting sellotape over your eyes. Just there, that. It is good fun.
Streaking in a mosque.
What about sex?
Sex?
Yeah.
Do you only find sex acceptable?
That's what I tend to say after sex. I tend to say that was acceptable.
Is it acting? Acting isn't acceptable. It's not a proper job, is it?
Bollocks.
No, it's just you've got to read out loud without giggling. Really, that's it.
I was sat next to an actress at a dinner and she was talking about, God, it's so hard. We sit in this trailer all day long. I'm like, yeah, right, you get paid like £9 million per movie. Shut up.
Who was the actress?
Not telling.
Come on. Come on, name that bitch.
Patricia Routledge.
No.
That's Patricia Routledge getting £9 million a movie. Come on, who is it?
I think she's cracking.
I'll tell you what, we'll put you in the car. It won't be the first time me and Richard Madeley have bundled a young lady into the back of the car.
Can you give us a clue?
It involves holding something in your hand.
Angling? It's going to be fishing.
Exactly the right answer, Neil Morrison.
I thought so.
So that means that quite a large percentage of British people think that angling is completely unacceptable.
And they're running along the riverbank, pushing them in.
handling is totally unacceptable.
Here's your next one. 10% of dinner ladies see what as essential?
Is it food?
What about Topless Friday? Come on. No fried food today. Come on.
I'll give you a clue. It's to do with a kitchen implement.
Axe. An axe.
What about like a serving spoon?
That would be higher than 10%, I feel.
Yes, yeah. No, a lot of them just do it with their hands. Like that. There you go.
Well, I have to tell you, I can't believe you haven't guessed. 10% of dinner ladies think salad spinners are essential.
Oh.
So at the end of that round, I can tell you it's 3 points to Sean's team and 5 points to Dave's team. The next round is Believe It or Not. In this round, I'll give you a simple statement, and all you have to do is tell me whether you think it's true or false. Dave, Richard and Neil, let's see your clip. That was a clip from the 1984 horror movie Attack of the Beast Creatures. Here is your related statistic. If attacked by a bear whilst camping, 31% of American men would abandon their partner in favour of their own safety. Is that true or false?
What you shouldn't do if a bear comes at you, you should not run. You shouldn't run away because they take that as panic. I mean, I think you should run away if there's two of you. If she's there, you should say,
Run.
Let's run for it, because just keep a bit in front of her then, couldn't you? Just go, I'll run that way, you run for the cubs. She'll not attack you with her kids.
I mean, I've actually dealt with, I know how to deal with bears. I know that I wouldn't want to, it's very easy to deal with. A lot of people get frightened, there's no need to be frightened. The thing about bears is you just let them come at you, just keep as fast as they want, just stand still, and when they're about 6 inches away, you just do this, you just go, whoa, like that. Because they've got those big, round feet, they've got no mobility, they just go, whoa.
Richard, I've got a question for you. OK, you're camping with Judy.
Yeah.
Do you abandon Judy if attacked by a bear?
I would lay down my life for my wife.
Presumably, when you get home, you go, I don't watch this, Judy. If attacked by a bear whilst camping, 31% of American men would abandon their partner in favour of their own safety. Is that true or is it false?
We now think it's false.
You are right, it is false. 7% of US men would abandon a loved one if attacked by a bear. Never mind a bear. I nearly left my girlfriend when that whale came up the Thames. Sean, Kelly and Vic, here's a clip to illustrate your fact.
These chimps sleep 12 hours daily, love bread and butter, tea, coffee, hot chocolate and the occasional bottle of beer. Brenner says that training them to skate needs endless patience and an inexhaustible supply of bananas.
That was Bonnie Langford without a celebrity partner. Have you seen her, Bonnie Langford, in that show? Yeah. I've never seen anyone look so pleased to be on television. Just like she's going to explode if she gets any happier.
Here's a related statistic for you. 25% of vets have treated a drunk pet. Is that true or false?
But that could be just the same pet that's gone around a quarter of the vets in Britain. There's one real boozy dog. Except when those dogs start repeating themselves, isn't it? Saying the same story over and over again. Yes, I know, I've heard it.
An animal will head towards alcohol if it sees it. You know, if a pelican sees some vodka, it's gonna be in there.
You've got a lot of pets. What have you got, Vic?
Pelican.
Signor, no have pelican.
No, not have pelican.
I feel like I've arrived down in Mexico Way.
Yeah.
And the locals, they know so friendly.
Yeah.
Hey, English, you want pelican? Follow me, but tell no one.
So 25% of vets have treated a drunk pet. Richard, what do you think?
A vet only has to treat a pissed pet once, and he's in that statistic, isn't he?
He's got a point.
A whole career, and he's never treated a drunk pet? I don't think so.
I agree, Richard.
I think it's true.
I think it's true.
True, we'll go true.
Well, I can tell you, you are absolutely right. 25% of vets have treated a drunken pet. So at the end of that round, I can tell you it's 4 points for Sean's team and 6 points for Dave's team.
Oh, yes.
And And the winner is the name of our final round. I'm going to give the teams a series of opinion polls, and it's up to them to buzz in and tell me who or what they think came top. Here is your first one. Top priority for single men buying a house.
Is it a kitchen sink that flushes?
Is it one of those jewel-encrusted steel telephone helmet? It goes like that. And a massage glove.
I'm thinking we got points in the bag.
I used to live in a flat. It was very sort of thin walls, and there was a very, very attractive trio of girls who lived in the flat next door. I swear, before I moved in, there was a hole in the wall between my bedroom and... It was there. I thought of complaining to the landlord, but I thought, no, let them look.
When I was a single man, every time I moved, first thing I do, if I've got phone-connected electricity, I go to the nearest off licence, I go up to the counter and I say, "Hi, I'm Sean, and over the next few years, you'll be seeing quite a lot of me. Never sell me whiskey."
Opposite a pub, next to a pub.
Correct, Dave. Right. Dream holiday companions.
There was a thing in the paper the other week that somebody checked in and the luggage was 10 kilos over, and the guy went, "Well, let's see if we can take anything out," and they undid it. Telly. Why are you taking a television, Benidorm? Coronation Street.
I invented a holiday extension lead, which is it's about 100 miles long. So you plug it in, and you can use your own electricity supply. That's your holiday. Yeah. An electricity supply that you feel comfortable with.
Stephen Hawkins, I'd take, because you get on the plane first, then, wouldn't you?
Is it Judith Chalmers? Because she'd be really good company on the plane, and in the event of a crash in the Andes, she'd be quite tasty.
Do you think?
I think she'd be nice steamed.
If Judith is watching this, you're not under any sort of immediate threat. We're just discussing how we'd like to eat you. We're going to eat you, Judith.
Is it an English person or American person?
It is an English couple.
Oh, what
Richard
about,
and Judy.
Pete and Kate?
Is it her mum and dad?
Yes, it is.
Your mum and dad?
Oh, you Sharon, get out of there. Oh, God.
Our nation's dream holiday companions are Sharon and Ozzy Osbourne. Right, that sound tells me that it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are Sean, Kelly and Vic have 4 points, but our winners are Dave, Richard and Neil with 9 points. Thank you to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and to all of you for watching at home. That's it from us. See you next week. Cheers. Hello, I'm Jimmy Carr, and I don't want to impose on your day. I know you just watched a clip of me. You probably had enough of me already. But if you could like and subscribe, that would help me in some way, which I don't fully understand. I think basically if you like and subscribe, then down the line, I have a more comfortable retirement. I don't know.